Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sitting here. I would like to turn this a bit.
And I can go ahead and remove my mask.
Oh, sure, okay.
It might help with the audio a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. So again, thank you for your patience with that.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's it. That's all going. Okay, great. So yeah, we're at the Moorhead Public Library. Is that the full name of this library?
Yeah, so we're the Moorhead Public Library. We're part of a larger group of libraries called the Lake Agassiz Regional Libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the state of Minnesota, they have multiple different regional library systems. And the Lake Agassiz region covers a large range like Detroit Lakes and so on. But we're the largest branch in our district.
Oh, okay.
And we also house the district office here in the Moorhead Library. So a lot of things happen here, and we're kind of a hub for the going-ons of our district.
Yeah, and that's what I had. I definitely knew that I was supposed to turn to the Moorhead Public Library when trying to find out more about mental wellness in Moorhead, Minnesota. And do I understand it correctly that you found more information just about Minnesota, like the state?
Yeah, so with Moorhead kind of being like a border town where we're right across the river from Fargo, we kind of pool resources with them. So a lot of our stuff is like, you get sent over to Fargo just because that's where a lot of the bigger hospitals and stuff are. But we have access to so many resources here in our library. I was able to reach out to the Historical Society, and they have their own library that covers the whole state of Minnesota.
Okay.
And I reached out to one of their librarians there, Ann Thayer, I think is her last name.
Okay.
And I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I'm helping this patron with a request about like sanitariums in the state of Minnesota fairly near the Moorhead area.
Sure.
And she got back to me pretty quickly with information about the Sunnyrest Sanitarium in Crookston.
Oh, okay.
She said that was probably the closest one on the Minnesota side to Moorhead where people would possibly get sent to. She sent me like links and everything to be able to look at all this different information. And it's just one of the resources that we can offer. It is like our connections to these other like services throughout the state. And it's all free, and people could, if you're traveling, you can always go there. They call it the Gale Family Library.
Okay.
And they have a lot of information there in person as well.
There's access to, there are records? Like patient sort of records? Is that what you were saying?
They don't have like a ton because they can't publish like social security numbers or anything like that, but they do have some basic form records of like patient care and who was at the hospitals at what times. It's not fully complete, but they definitely have some of those records, and she mentioned that anyone that was interested in it could either go in person or make a request, and they're even working on starting their own research service where they're going to have staff on hand at that Historical Society, the Gale Family Library, where they'll assist with research projects like more in depth. They said for now they kind of have to use some third parties that they've partnered with in the past, but they're currently working on having their own staff for that, which would be really cool for sure.
Sanatorium, So I'm going to look, so I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea about this. And just because I had gone to another public library or an archive, none of this was brought up to me.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm not putting them down. It's just, that's why you gotta go to different places.
Yeah.
That's why you have to explore, you know?
Every single person has their own background, their own history, and their own things that they know. Like, looking at me, you might not think that I've worked in libraries for close to a decade.
Okay.
But ever since I was old enough to work, I've worked in a library. So I know almost everything about libraries. I've worked back end, front end, all sorts of positions. So I have a huge amount of knowledge on like the function of a library and how it works.
It shows.
And
it really shows.
Yeah, and every library is different. Like I've worked in other state libraries and across the country, and they all have their own different policies on how much they do for patrons. But definitely here in Moorhead, we do as much as possible to assist our patrons, which is one of the greatest things. Like just having the moments like these where we know like we were very helpful and we provided you with information you didn't know before.
Yes, I really didn't know about this, and now, you said that the microfilm, what is it, a reader?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
It's available just to the public?
Yeah, so we have it upstairs. It's located behind our reference desk.
Really?
But it's a machine that's about like yay big, and it's hooked up to one of our computers, and you just load the microfilm on there. If you need to be shown how to do it the first time, we're more than happy to show you how. And you just load it on the machine. It has buttons to go forwards and backwards, and then it displays the article on the screen for you.
Oh.
And you can save it to a flash drive, you can print it out, you can email it to yourself, a large variety of things that you can do with it.
Now I'm looking, it's like I've got a name, in Crookston. It's like, do you think I could actually, I'm not asking you, like, do you know if it's still there? Like this building, or this sanatorium, like if the structure is still there. But that's what I'm thinking about, like, can I go there and see, where it used to be?
Yeah, I'm sure the plot of land is probably there.
Probably.
If the place isn't, but definitely, like, I didn't get a chance to look into to see if the building still existed or not. I think it didn't, because most of the photos I were seeing were dated, black and white photos. So I'm willing to guess that it's probably gone now, or at least moved to a different location. Because I don't know that there are a ton of sanatoriums anymore. I bet they're probably a lot integrated into just major hospitals. I'm sure there's still some out there, but I don't think they're as big as they used to be, standalone places. So
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Probably for good reason.
Yeah, they definitely have their negative connotation for a reason. So
They do. Okay, so thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime we're always happy to take on a project and learn new things. Librarianship is complicated where like they judge it based on like a master's degree, depending on like where you are in the world and like the population.